I hope that you're here because you really want to be a part of something bigger than yourself and you want to know how you fit into that. And that's the kind of people that I make content for. And I post a lot about fundraising requests and people who are essentially fundraising to survive. And we hear a lot of excuses and we see a lot of people turning away from us, especially at times in the summer when people would rather be vacationing and resting and relaxing and spending their money on fun things. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone from enjoying themselves and having a life that is full of pleasure. I think that that's an important thing. I also want to say that divorcing ourselves from community and making excuses puts a huge rift in between you and a bunch of other people, including me, and we could do a lot more if we connected and we did things together. It's a privilege to be able to make excuses and justifications and to explain away why we're not able to spend the money on doing these things, and that we get to make the choices from the paychecks that we get and the money that we do receive from the family members that we have, or whatever way that we're receiving income. It's a privilege to be able to choose where we work, what we do with that paycheck, and whether or not we pay our bills with it. It may not sound like it. It may sound like we're all crushed under this weight in the exact same way, and it's just not. There are people that are disproportionately impacted by the injustice that is happening. So if you feel crushed, and if you feel like you need to take your family to Disneyland or whatever is your version of pleasure seeking at whatever cost, please consider how much of a privilege that is to be able to learn about these hardships through other people telling you, through songs, through social media, and through not experience them directly yourself. It is unavoidable at this point. Disabled people, queer people, people who will not assimilate to a death machine that would like us to martyr ourselves so that you all can be more comfortable. Even if you don't feel like that's your point of view, you benefit from it. And that system wants people like me to go back to work until I drop dead. And I saw too many people that I worked with, people who were amazing, end up hospitalized and end up with irreparable harm and irreversible damage to their bodies because of the way that they were willing to abandon themselves for this system that doesn't support us, that doesn't love us back. And I can't take part in that anymore because my health is really important to me. So if you value us and you want us to be here to continue fighting for what's right, then we need you to invest in us. We need it. I may come across as being a little short, a little upset, and therefore a little forceful. No one has to do this. But if you don't do this, if you don't invest in the systems that you're going to need one day to support you, you can't expect us to do that as well as we could if you were a part of it. If you participated now and you poured into this system, invested in this system now, into a care economy right now, then it could be flourishing. It could be the mainstream thing. But because people continue to sideline it, because people continue to wait until they end up in dire circumstances, and then they have no choice but to depend on community, that is whenever people start to say, oh gosh, community is important. It's always been important. It's been important forever. You have been conditioned to believe that it is not important, because if you live your life abusing yourself for other people, then you line somebody else's pockets.